Good afternoon. Your Premiership weekend starts here at Fir Park, where Motherwell meet Hearts live on BT Sport. Both teams had morale-boosting victories midweek. Both now want to build on those results and finish the season strongly. 3 points on Tuesday took the Steelmen up into the top half, but it's still very tight in the middle, and they'll be aware the gap to Hamilton in 11 is just 4. As for the Jambos, they got themselves back into the race for the top 3 on Wednesday. A stunning 4-1 win against Rangers means they've closed the gap on Aberdeen, but they can't shake off St Johnstone just yet. Stephen Craigan and Chris Sutton are here. Look, we were both all of us were so impressed by Hearts. Both of you impressed by Hearts midweek, weren't we? It's all about continuing it today and taking it on. We all were, isn't it? It's momentum now.
Well, of course it is. You know, it's been a tough start for Ian Cathro, no doubt about it. You know, Craig Levine's been in the papers the last couple of days saying the plan was always to change the squad in January.
Yeah, he's got his own players in now, Craig, hasn't he? This is his team. The team squad wasn't good enough. Now it's his team.
But it was still his team before, because he was in charge of it, irrespective of what the personnel is.
Well, there were question marks, weren't there? Because, you know, he took over a team in second place, and that was a gamble changing. And Stephen is quite right. It is one game, but it was a big statement, wasn't it, the other night?
Big game as well for Motherwell. What a victory that was midweek when you consider the next fixtures after this one today are Aberdeen away, Celtic away.
Well, it's about consistency. You know, Mark's been disappointed most of the season. It seems to be one good win, can't seem to follow it up. Fir Park hasn't been great for them this season. I think it's 1 point out of the last 4 home games. So they played Hearts here, you know, 8-9 weeks ago, and they lost heavily 3-1. So there's a few wrongs needed to be put right. I think performance has to improve.
Okay, both managers have made a couple of changes today, including Mark McGee. A couple of changes for him, one enforced because Scott McDonald, of course, suspended now. Lee Lucas also drops out. Zach Jules comes in, first start from him, on loan from Reading, and Lionel Ainsworth as well into that starting 11. And 2 changes for Hearts and Ian Cathro, 2 Greek players coming into the team. Tassos Avlanitis plays in place of Christian Novak. Alexandros Jolis in for Perry Kitchen. The captain on the bench today, Don Cowie, is captain. What do you make of that? Surprising?
Well, it shows that Ian's not frightened to make big decisions. If he thinks the team needs changed, he thinks it needs freshened up, he thinks there's personnel in the background who are better than his starting 11, irrespective of whether you're captain. Well, if he's on the bench, you would suspect that. Because to me, if you're not fit to play any part of the game, you wouldn't be on the bench. So whether he's dropped these, whether he's not, it's a big statement. But if Ian thinks it's the right thing, he has to do it.
And the Hearts back 4, just 12 appearances for the club between them. It's a new back 4. Is that a problem, an issue?
Well, it worked well the other night, didn't it?
Yeah, Avlanitis coming in today, of course. Okay, shall we hear from both of the managers now? Ian Cathro and Mark McGee have been speaking to Ailey Barber.
Well, Mark, it's the first start for Zach Jules today in what looks like a back 3. Talk me how you set up.
Yeah, back 3. Yeah, I think you know, we want to play with a certain amount of caution. You know, they're strong up front. Last time at Tynecastle, the strikers gave us a difficult afternoon, so we're trying to kind of make sure that we have enough to cope with that, but at the same time giving us enough in forward position. So it's not a 3-5-2, it's more of a 3-4-3, you know, so we still have Chris Cadden, Lionel Ainsworth and Louis Moult in forward position, so we hope to be able to take plenty of the game to them.
Well, Ian, it must have been a happy camp since Wednesday night. Today, all about backing up that performance, and how much confidence has it brought to your side?
During the week was an important night for us. It was a positive thing, but you know, it ended at the time as well, and this game is its own thing, and it's entirely about what we do today. You
lose a bit in forward areas, of course, without Scott McDonald today. How big a miss is he in terms of what he brings to the team aside from his goals?
Well, we'll only know at the end. You know, Lionel Ainsworth is a player who, for me, should have spent his whole career as a striker. You know, I think that Lionel's got such attributes: his strength, his pace, his finishing power, you know, his ability to go past people. He's got it all as a striker, and I think he's been personally, I think he's been wasted in wide areas. So he's going to get the opportunity through the middle today. So he's got it all. If he can deliver what he's been shown in training for the last month, then maybe we won't miss Scott at all. But of course, Scott is an important player to us.
A couple of changes for you today. Perhaps a surprise omission is Perry Kitchen. What's his situation?
We're in a situation where I think we've played 5 games, including 1 extra time, in something like 13 days. It's very difficult. One of the things that we wanted to do is to be able to bring options and have balance and have strength to be able to manage these things and keep our levels high. So there's nothing more to read into that than that.
All the best, Ian. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Keeping the levels high.
Good interview, wasn't it?
Yes, spoke very well again, did he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
I thought you would make that point. Look, interesting to see if they do kick on here. One of the key players again is Jamie Walker, who Ian Cathro has been talking a lot about the last couple of days, given the 2 goals midweek. He's basically saying he wouldn't swap him for any winger in Scotland.
Well, he's been Hearts' best player, hasn't he? You know, he's the one player, when you go to watch Hearts, he excites you. You know, I think certainly he's the one player that can take men on. He gets himself in the box. He's got great technique. You know, left foot, right foot. He can play either side. He can play in behind.
Where do you think his best position is, Stephen?
I like him off the wide area, Chris. I think he can drift into the middle of the pitch. He can find great pockets of space. He can get himself turned and get at people. I think when he stays wide, he becomes a little bit isolated and sometimes drifts out of the game. So I think outside, coming into pitch and trying to play as a number 10 almost sometimes.
If they're going to play 4-4-2 like they did midweek, though, he's going to have to play off the wide. You would imagine.
Yes, he is. What I like about him, he's an all-rounder. He can see a pass. He can beat men. I mean, this was brilliant the other night. He'd read the ball out, poor from Rangers, but fantastic finish, and he has the ability to score all types of goals.
Scotland international sooner rather than later, do you think, guys?
Well, you would certainly think in the future. You know, it depends on Gordon Strachan. He's got Barry Mackay, he's got James Forrest, he's got lots of players in that area.
Form doesn't matter with Gordon.
No, well, indeed. And as for Motherwell, Lionel Ainsworth playing in a striker role today.
Well, Lionel's played in the wide area.
Mark prefers him as a striker, but he's played him out of the wing most of his career.
I think because he's had good strikers, he's never really had a chance to put him in. When Scott McDonald's fit and Louis Malt's fit, they will always play. So Lionel, I think he's tried to get him into the team, and he's almost had to play him as a wide player, but certainly he's better up front.
Talking about Motherwell playing with the back three today, what do you think suits Motherwell best, the 4 or the 3? I
like the way he's changing the team based on how Hearts done during the week. They were physical, they were strong, the front two were powerful.
OK, gentlemen, thank you very much. You're about to head up to comms. We better go to the break now. The game is just a few minutes away. Motherwell hoping to make it back-to-back league wins against the Hearts team, who are looking to record a victory on the road for the first time since September, would you believe? And that just so happens that came here at 4 Park. All the action next.